Okay, my first period, I woke up, there was blood. I was devastated and terrified because I thought I was dying. And then like my older sister was so excited. She's like, let's go to the movies. Oh my God, like celebration. And then I thought that I couldn't walk. Like I didn't think I could sleep. I thought I just had to sit there and like wait for it to pass.
PE Form 2, got it there, devastated. My mum was overseas at the time. So I had to tell my dad and my brother who was looking after me. And then my dad brought me to celebrate a pair of red Dickies. And my mum sent me an email that was like an automated animation that said, you're of a woman walking down a path saying, you're on your path to womanhood.
So traditionally, as a Tamil, you actually get locked up for a couple of days when you get your period, first 3 days. So you're locked in a room where no one can talk to you, no one can view you because you're bleeding. But we kind of shortened it here. So it wasn't that. It was just a ceremony where, oh my God, the most bizarre thing, but it was a ceremony of welcoming me into womanhood. I didn't go to school for 2 weeks in intermediate, and I went to intermediate at Howick Intermediate. So all the Southside kids are like, why aren't you at school? And I was like, oh, I just got a period, and they did a ceremony. And they're like, ah? And I was like, yeah, totally. Nobody else got a period ceremony?
I guess I was like 13, and I was kind of like, what the fuck? Yeah, not even because I was trans and I felt like I was going through the wrong puberty. I mean, I did on one hand, but on the other hand, it's just insane. Like, you're bleeding. It's cooked.
Yeah, that was rough. That was a young entertainer's story. It was really, really shit to have to figure out how to deal with your first period while you're about to perform to a live audience that is then being recorded and then going to be shown on people's living rooms. Yeah.
I was on the Gisborne Intermediate cultural trip, which was a trip that our kapahaka team took down to Wellington to perform there. And we were at Te Papa, and I was watching a production about penguins, and I just remember feeling like my stomach was falling out my ass. And then I sat up, and I was wearing it's just cliche, but I was wearing a white pencil skirt, and I had bled through my skirt and onto the chair, and my friend next to me gave me their jumper to put around my waist, and I just ran out in shock. It was pretty horrific.
Because my mum is so open, it turned me real prudish. So she was always like, when you get your first period, we'll have a celebration and we'll invite all the friends over and celebrate the fact that you're a woman. And I was like, disgusting, because I was a tomboy. So when I first got my period, I didn't want to tell my mum, I think because I didn't want to give her the satisfaction that I did actually get my period. So I called my cousin and told her, and she was like, oh, just put a toilet paper in your undies. So that's what I did for a wee while before I got up the courage to tell my mum.
First period, I was devastated. I cried a lot. It was mum on the other side of the door, trying to coach me through it. But I also remember, 2 days into my first period, mum bullied me into using tampons because she was like, no daughter of mine's going to be a pad user.
I lived with my dad, who, wonderful man, wasn't particularly knowledgeable about how to deal with young girls' first periods. And I just put my sort of slightly bloody undies into the washing machine. And my dad came up to me in the hallway and he said, Rab, I think you need to wipe your bum better. I was like, no, it's my period. And I started crying. He's like, you're a woman now. And then drove me to the chemist to get a box of tampons. That was all I knew or ever learned about my period. I worked a lot harder with my kids.